So Conor Benn dispatches of Chris Algieri in 4 rounds. Yeah, pretty much a total destruction from Ben. And a good performance. I'd say a good performance as well. And I'm seeing some improvements with Conor Benn as well. I'm seeing some improvements. This was probably his best performance, I would say. Like against Granados wasn't particularly great. Granados kind of old manned him really in there. Obviously, he lost the fight comprehensively, but he's just able to use a lot of veteran tactics and survive really. And Conor Benn kind of, I wouldn't say struggled, but he just couldn't really find the accurate, hurtful shots really to get him out of there. Whereas in this fight, I've seen quite a few improvements. Ben's power's been improving as well over the years. He's never been feather fisted, never, but his power is improving as well. I see he's got a lot more snap in his shots, but sometimes he does load up a little bit too much as well. And especially as he goes up in the levels, he needs to know when to load up and when not to load up because there is a time and a place for loading up. But he needs to know, he just needs to improve on just having the know-how of knowing, just having the know-how on when and when not to load up on punches. But yeah, I'm seeing improvements with Ben, especially with his defense, his head movement. He had shades of Canelo Alvarez in there with the way he was slipping and sliding and bobbing and weaving, getting low and yeah, anticipating shots well. It was shades of Canelo there in his head movement and the style of it. But obviously, I'm not saying his head movement is anywhere near the level of Canelo. Don't get it twisted at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that his head movement is improving. Is improving. There are points there where he was slipping Algieri's combinations really well. And that's the best I've seen Conor Benn's head movement look in a fight. One thing I want to see him do more though is feint a little bit more. That's the only criticism I've got. He was feinting in the 4th round, and I think that contributed to the knockout, the feints that he was doing. And he made a good adjustment in there. So it shows he's thinking more in there. Like he made a good adjustment. Instead of always throwing the looping left hooks around the sides, the big powerful left hooks, like he started to go down the middle as well through Algieri's guard. Because Algieri had a tight guard, but he had a noticeable gap in the middle of that guard. And what Conor Benn was doing was firing a really good 1-2 straight through that guard, which was an effective shot. He started doing that from round 3. He landed a big 1-2 in round 3, and in round 4, the 1-2 was the shot that ended the fight. That's a good adjustment that Conor Benn was doing there. On top of that as well, like I said, I do want to see him feint a bit more because the first 2 rounds he wasn't really feinting. He was just like pretty much every shot he would just throw. He wasn't really feinting. I do want to see him feint a bit more, but he was doing it in round 3 a bit though. So it's not too much of a criticism because he was doing it in round 3, feinting to the body and landing the jab to the head. And when you feint, it makes your offense more unpredictable. That's why when he would feint to the body, throw the jab to the head, you combine the feint with his good speed as well. Like that contributed to that helped that snapping jab land. Like that improved the accuracy of that jab when he was feinting to the body with it, but then he would jab to the head instead. That was a good effective feint that he was doing. So he started feinting more in round 3, and like I said, I think that contributed to the knockout a bit. One thing I like the fact that he's improved on as well as his head movement, is his counter punching. Like he was slipping Algieri's right hand and countering with a left foot to the body, sometimes a left foot to the body and the left foot to the head. Really good counters in there, really good body shots as well. Like the body attack he had in this fight is the best I've seen from Conor Benn. Like really good body attack as well. And yeah, good counter punching, good body attacks, especially with that left foot to the body as well. Putting good snap in it, putting good power in it, making adjustments as well. And yeah, just all round a solid performance as well. Saw the head movement improvements as well. His head movements looking better. Like all round good improvements from Conor Benn. A good performance. Still some room for improvement though. Still some areas where he can improve because he's getting caught with left hooks on. Like he can be timed coming in. Like he can be timed when he's coming in. That's the only thing I'd say about that Conor Benn could improve on. Algieri did tag him a few times, but that's not the worst thing in the world though, because Algieri, like offensively, he's not terrible. Like he's not amazing, but he's not terrible. I would say. Like he did tag Errol Spence with a few good right hands. He did tag, even though he got knocked down 7 times by Manny Pacquiao or something like that. Like he did tag Manny Pacquiao a few times with some good shots. So yeah, like getting hit by Algieri is not the worst thing in the world, but defensively, I do see some holes there nonetheless. That he can be timed when he's coming in, when he's coming in, throwing shots. Like, he does leave himself a little bit open. So that's one area where he could improve on. But Algieri didn't really have the power or the snap on his shots really to put a dent in Conor Benn at all, really. Like, his shots pretty much had no effect on Benn. And that's always been one of Algieri's flaws. He's not a puncher at all, especially at welterweight. The guy pretty much can't punch at welterweight. So, yeah, this is why I want to see Conor Benn's next performance against someone that can punch a bit. I want to see how he can do with someone where he respects their power a little bit more. How is he going to adjust to them? Because when you don't respect someone's power, you can get away with things in there that you wouldn't necessarily do with someone who you do respect their power. So I want to see how Benn would adjust and do against someone where he does respect their power a bit more, someone that can crack a bit. And yeah, I want to see him against someone that can crack a bit, someone that can test him again, that can really test him. Because Granados, old guy, I mean, never really going to do anything. And you've got Algieri, 36 years old, and he can't punch. Yeah, I want to see him against the Formella performance. I mean, a lot of people thought that would be a trickier fight than it was, but he pretty much beat Formella comprehensively, really conclusively. Very good performance. Beat him better than Sean Porter did in most people's eyes. So that was a very good performance. But I want to see him against someone that can crack a bit harder. Someone like David Avanesian. That's a really interesting fight, the Avanesian fight. Some people are saying, Avanesian beats Ben easily, but Avanesian's improved, but I wouldn't say that's an easy fight for either guy. I think that's a tough fight for Ben, but I want to see him fight someone like Avanesian because I want to see if this guy's the goods. I mean, I'm not saying put him in a world title fight or anything like that or a top 10 guy. No. Spot incremental steps, small steps. I want to see him let's see him against someone like Avanesian. I mean, who's probably like a top 20 welterweight, Avanesian. So let's see him against someone like that. See how he does. See what he can do. And if he beats Avanesian, then we can move him on again. If he beats Avanesian, then maybe put him up against Kaviauskas. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But him, the guy that gave Crawford problems and dropped him unofficially, but he did drop him. Yeah, and he also gave Virgil Ortiz some problems. So if he beats Avanesian, put him up against someone like Kaviauskas. But yeah, it should be onwards and upwards for now for Conor Benn. But I want to see him in tougher tests because we've seen the improvements. Head movement, counter punching. I mean, more patient and measured now. He's less reckless. He's still got that aggression about him, which he needs, which is good, which you need to have in a sport like boxing, that fire, that aggression, that spitefulness. He's still got that about him, but he's more measured and patient with it, which is good. You need both. So, yeah, like I've seen Conor Benn, the way he's progressed, he's one of the most improved British fighters over the years. So this is why I say I want to see him in tougher tests. Someone like David Avanesian would be a really good matchup. Or the guy that beat Chris Congo, what's his name? I think it's McKinson. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that's his name. Yeah, McKinson. Someone like him wouldn't be a bad test as well, but I'd prefer Avanesian. In terms of how I think Ben would do against the other welterweight contenders, like Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis, I still think Jaron Ennis and Ortiz do still beat him comprehensively. Yeah, like even though Conor Benn's improved a lot, like he's no match for Ortiz or Ennis. Yeah, especially Ennis. Yeah, Ennis is just too gifted, too talented, too athletic. Yeah, I think Ennis stops Conor Benn, and Virgil Ortiz are probably stopping too right now. Yeah, so yeah, against those guys, I don't think he's on those guys' level. But that's not to say he's a bad fighter. He's not. He's not a bad fighter. He is improving, and yeah, like let's see what he can do against like someone like Avanesian, who's a solid fighter. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So until next time, and guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. What did you think about Conor Benn's performance? What did you think about Conor Benn's performance? Who do you want to see him up against next? And if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, until next time.